Charles Van Morgan. Welcome. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show. Today we're going to talk about unthankful, unpatriotic, so-called Americans that want something for nothing fuel the hatred of the Jewish people, anti-Semitic people, and opposition to the war. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Can everybody hear me? I hope you can. So this is the Charles Van Morgan Show. Unbridled news. We're not controlled by the news channels. We speak the truth to power. So welcome, welcome. Come on in. So that's the truth to you all. So if you are opposed to the war, then I'm speaking to you. If you are not opposed to the war, then congratulations for not being deceived by the enemy and the Jew haters and not being under a curse. So welcome, welcome. Come on in. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. The great American flag that I'm so proud of. I'm a patriotic American citizen. That is my flag flying right side up. When we are in agreement with the nation of Israel, then we are blessed by God Almighty. That's biblical, but that's not the only reasons for the war. The other reasons are patriotic reasons and not wanting something for nothing. So can y'all hear me? Let me know. Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. We're going down to our signature location. The location that has a beautiful view, if we can make it. So there's a lot of haters, and they show their face, unpatriotic haters. Today we're going to talk about the anti-Semitic Jew haters and the unpatriotic Americans and Tennesseans, quite frankly, that are fueling opposition to a necessary war that protects their own interests, their own safety, health, protection, and well-being. So you can't cure stupid, but you can put out truthful information to dispel the haters and the people that want America to be under a curse and tell the truth about things, which is what I do. And so WBIR did a survey. I might add a very unstatistically significant survey. I happen to know a little bit about surveys. I took a class at the University of Tennessee, advanced level course in statistics and survey research. So it's a very unstatistical survey that might influence some people, but it doesn't influence me. And if there were 10,000 people around about me that were for evil, I would still be for right. So the number of opposition really does not bother me. I keep putting out truth. So we're going to put out a little truth about opposition to this war. That is a holy war. That is a war against the rogue Iranian regime that has killed dead many American soldiers responsible for that. So people live in America under our freedom, under our flag, and don't give, frankly, a rat's ass about American soldiers that have died from Iranian weapons that have killed them. That's kind of disgusting to me. So the 1,000 people, and I'll say it, unafraid, unbridled, truthfully, the 1,000 people, 1,035 that answered the survey that are in opposition to the war in recompense for the death of American soldiers by the hands of Iranians, then, I don't think very highly of you, all 1,035 of you. Now, that's not very popular to run a campaign that way, but this is a little unorthodox campaign. It's called a campaign of truth, and I think I can convince enough people of the truth and not worry about 1,000 people that are worried about a few cents on their gas bill rather than recompense, rather than deterrence of murders and death of thousands and thousands of American soldiers by the hands of Iranians. Let's see if y'all can hear me. Thank y'all very much. Come on in. So how does that make sense, you feel? House America, that's the nice place. That's right. said hi. Thank you all. So come on in. So we're talking about anti-Semitism, hatred for the Jews, Jew haters. There's a bunch of them piping up. And I feel bad for you because you're under a curse of God, not under a curse of man. That wouldn't make that much difference. Although I do make a difference, and you make a difference too. Our government like to say we don't make a difference, but we do. We do. We have a vote in America. We do make a difference. Don't let them convince you that you don't. And so 1,000 people, 1,035 as compared to about 200 in a survey by WBIR, Channel 10, a major news network. And nothing against the broadcasters. They're just doing what they're paid to do. They have some God-fearing broadcasters on that show, but they mislead the public a lot. And they did a survey about opposition or support of the Iranian war that's going on right now. You know, we got a hot war going on, important in America. While you're living your everyday life, there's American soldiers in ships in the Middle East preparing to put their boots on the ground in a war in a foreign country. And you say, well, they don't need to be doing that. That's not Americans' war. They have missiles that they lied about that went a hell of a lot further than they said they did. And if they were just lying about that, their missiles weren't capable of the distance that they went, then were they telling the truth about enriching uranium? I think that they were probably lying about both. So the survey indicated that over 1,000 people, 70-something%, were in opposition to the war in Iran. Now what's behind all that? They're claiming a lot of people don't think that we should be fighting that war over there. Well, there's a lot of people that aren't very smart. There's a lot of people, I hate to say it, that are unpatriotic. They don't care about soldiers' blood that have been killed by Iranian regime, and they're willing to just let them die and enjoy the freedoms that they gave us and not worry about it. And that's pretty disgusting. And there are other reasons why people don't support the war. And I emphatically, and I don't care if 1,035 people don't vote for me, I disagree, because this is a war. This is a campaign of truth. It's not a popularity contest, and I could care less about their stupid survey other than the fact to point it out, because it's trying to influence people. Hey, everybody else is against it, maybe I ought to be against it too. You know, go along with the program. I don't. I go along with something called, that's very rare sometimes in this nation, in this world, for the time being, it's called going along with the truth. Going along with stuff that's absolutely true, that you've seen with your own eyes, that you know, so, and from reliable sources. And that's not a reliable source. A survey done by WBR is absolutely ludicrous. I've taken survey classes, and the survey says bullshit. 1,000 people compared to 230-something said that they don't support the war. Over 1,000 people, 70-something%. So according to that WBI survey, we shouldn't be at war there. If those people in power, we wouldn't be paying Iran back for the death of thousands of American soldiers that were killed by Iranian proxies, directly by Iranian proxies, killed American soldiers dead. And you enjoy the freedoms that they gave you. It cost them something, and you're willing to just let them die and don't worry about it, enjoy their freedom. And I think that Iran should be shown that you kill our soldiers, we'll kill you. And that's exactly what's going on. Part of it, recompense. And a lot of part of the 1,000 is, some of them are influenced by false propaganda. In any war, there's propaganda. Propaganda, if you read Sun Tzu, a great military strategist from centuries ago, war is a lot of deception. You don't tell the enemy what you're doing. If you tell the enemy what you're doing, then they predict what you're doing and they're set up for it. You run camouflage, you lie to the enemy. And by lying to the enemy, you have to lie to the public a lot. So military strategists aren't going to tell you what they're doing. They're going to lie about what they're doing. A lot of times, what the military is doing is a directly opposite of what they're telling everybody they're doing. That's just military strategy. If you think you can determine what's going on in a war by listening to the news media, that's hilarious. You know nothing about military strategy. It is based on deception. You fool the enemy. You're in direct mortal combat with him. You're going to tell him the truth. And if you put out the truth, you'll die. So it's a war of propaganda, of deception, of being one step ahead of the enemy. So right now we have the enemy right now involved in direct propaganda in the United States of America. Putting out information, stop the war, everybody's against it. Stop the war, everybody's against it. Why stop the war? We're winning. We're stopping a threat for our country right now and for future generations. And we're winning the war. A few pennies on the price of gas and we ought to stop the war. Well, let me tell you something. Some people all across the state of Tennessee have family member soldiers that were blown up by roadside bombs, specifically in Afghanistan, caused by roadside bombs directly traced to the Iran regime. And they deserve judgment. And it's judgment day today as bombs are dropping on those Iranian dictators. And I agree 100% with that war. I'm for it every bit. I filled out that survey. Evidently, I was one of 235 people as compared to 1,000, I think 25 that are against it. And it might not sound popular, but I'll go along with truth any day because popular changes from one day to the next. And the truth doesn't change. So if you're against that war, you're wrong. You're just wrong. You're very wrong. And I'm not saying you're unpatriotic or you directly are anti-Semitic. I'm saying you are deceived by people that are unpatriotic, and you are deceived by anti-Semitism or something else worse going on. And there are a lot of people, listen to me, that are anti-Semitic. You're a Jew hater, and that's the reason why you hate that war. You don't like us helping out Israel, which is sad in itself. And the curse of God's on you, because there's a curse with cursing Israel, and that's exactly what you're doing. And people that are unpatriotic, you walk around in this country with freedoms that we have. My right to hold this phone up and talk to the world in this country. You don't have that right in other countries. And it's going away unless we fight it. And that's the reason why I'm running for public office, suing in courts, fighting these people. Boots on the ground in America, fighting the runaway government. Not the same kind of war, but freedom. And get this, people say it, but I want you to get it. I've seen it. Real, it's real. It's not a slogan. Freedom is not free. It's absolutely not free. I want you to get that. Freedom's not free. I've been to funerals where they couldn't even open the casket of young men who died in Afghanistan, their bodies blown in pieces, so deformed that they couldn't even open the casket of military soldiers, 19, 20 young soldiers that fought for the sovereignty and protection of America in a war they didn't choose, but they're fighting for America. And that freedom that they gave us, that our government in the state of Tennessee, I believe, for the most part, is fighting against, was not free for them. It cost them their lives. It cost them a marriage, children, a future. Future generations have been changed by wars that had to be fought for Americans' freedom. It's not free. It's absolutely not free. So if you are against this war, got a lot of people in here, thank you all. Subscribe to the channel if you like this message. The war is a good thing. Yes, I said it, it is a good thing. That's scriptural, biblical. In its time, war is a good thing. That means if in its time you don't go to war, it's a bad thing. So we're living at a good time, a great time for America right now. 1,035 people are wrong. That's not a statistical survey. I took a statistics course. That survey is propaganda put out to show people, hey, everybody's against it. No, we're not. No, we're not. There's a silent moral majority. That survey is made up of loudmouths that are trying to deter the war. And sure, they're going to get on any survey and hit that button, against it, against it, against it. And the people, God-fearing Christian people, they don't care to fill out a survey. People that love the nation of Israel and believe that the Jewish people have a right to be a sovereign nation under God, as God promised, it's going to happen. They're going to be a sovereign nation, whether you like it or whether you don't. The only nation in history that has been dissolved, run all over the world, and came back to being a nation in 1948. How does that happen? Divine intervention. God promised it would happen, and it did. And the nation of Israel is protected under the hand of God. It is. They were tried to be annihilated several times. They're a God-fearing Christian people. Zionist. And I'm a Zionist. Yes, amen. Praise the Lord. I believe in the sovereignty of the nation of Israel. Their right to be a nation. That's Zionist. That's all it is. I believe that they're God's chosen people, and you can be chosen too if you accept the Lord Jesus Christ. We're adopted into the family the same as Jews. Jewish people, that's Zionism. There's nothing wrong with that. It's gotten a bad name by anti-Semitic people, by people that agree with Hitler's annihilation of them. So if you want to be in that camp, then you go right ahead. God's threatened you with a curse, not Charles Van Morgan, although I have a lot of power on the earth, I believe, and so do you. So people that are not patriotic are against this war. Don't appreciate the sacrifice of soldiers. Think they ought to just lay there dead without anybody paying for their deaths. Even in a war, you make people pay for what they do to our soldiers. That's what's going on today. That's what's going on today. That's a good day when people are paying for their crimes, for their war crimes, for their murder of American soldiers, our young men and women that lay in graves in America that never got the opportunity to be married like you did. They never got the opportunity to fly the flag upright. And we have these disgusting people in the United States of America fly it upside down, promoted by insiders, by illegal aliens inciting to fly it upside down to protest America in America. Where can you do that? Not any other country except America. Soldiers gave us that right to disagree. And I disagree with 1,000 people. 1,035. So that survey is not a statistical survey. It's just loudmouths that get on every survey, propagandists that want to deter the war. And with people like me and people like you all, and that's the message, don't let it deter you from a blessing from God, because there's a blessing from God that promises that if you bless Israel, that you will be blessed. Likewise, if you curse Israel, those 1,000 people, I hope you have the right motives, and there's nothing wrong with having an opinion against the war for the right reasons. I disagree with you. There is something wrong with having an opinion against the war and not caring about American soldiers and being anti-Semitic, which is what's going on for the majority, for the most part. So today I've got a lot of information about why we're at war. The news media wants to say, no one said why we're at war, why we're at war. People yelling while we're there, and it's been going on for 48 years while we're there. I can take you to gravesides of American soldiers why we're there. It's been a long time coming. There's every reason for this war. It's a just war. It's a holy war. And America, the United States of America, you and your families will be blessed because of us standing with Israel, protecting the sovereignty of America. And as Tennesseans, we should be patriotic in the United States of Americans. And even other countries are protected by America. It would be a bad mistake, even for other countries that aren't even doing their due diligence, ain't even taking their part in protection of their own sovereignty. Because Iran can bomb and would bomb any country. They promise in their religion, jihad, to kill all non-believers in the Islamic false religion. That protects all people. This is a nation of peace for all nations. Our soldiers have sacrificed their lives for Americans that benefits all countries. It is a proud time, historic proud time to be an American, where recompense for people's evil, killing American soldiers by insidious roadside bombs is taking place. I am elated myself that these soldiers' blood are being revenged today, and you should be too. I know and I appreciate it. It almost brings tears to my eyes that my freedoms that I have are not free. Somebody else had to pay for them. It's just given to me. I am so thankful for that. I am so thankful for the freedoms that I have at this point, and they may be taken away. They're getting smaller every day, which is what I'm fighting against. But I am so thankful for the blood of soldiers that are symbolic of the blood of Jesus Christ, that gave me something that I didn't earn. That gave me something free that's a God-given right, freedom. Our Constitution was given to us by soldiers that are in graves right now because of the rogue Iranian dictatorship regime that needs to be wiped off the planet. And everybody's talked about it, and we're doing it today. And I'm a person of action. I'm a man of war. Jesus was a man of war. God's a man of war. If you read the Bible, war is a good thing. So the survey is a bunch of bullshit, not statistical. A statistical survey represents what's going on in the entire population of people. It doesn't represent the loudest mouse. That's just a certain area or a certain quality of people. And a statistical survey is hard to get. The more you survey, the better. What you have going on in these surveys in the news media, because the news media is biased, they dislike any war. They think you can have peace through peace. Good luck with that. Try that. It doesn't work. Everybody else will rule over you. We're not in heaven yet. We're not in heaven yet. Any Christian, we're not in heaven yet. There is a time and place for war on this earth. When we get to heaven in the next world, there will be no more wars. That's one of the promises, and that's heaven. If you're trying to find heaven on earth, you won't get there. You won't get there. You'll get more mass destruction and killing if you think that you can make a utopia on this earth. The very best that you can do is fight in wars and protect the safety and freedoms and protection that you have through bloodshed on the face of this fallen world. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. So if you think that we shouldn't go to war, that everything will be okay if we keep our hands to ourselves and just preach peace and American sovereignty, and get on the bandwagon with Marjorie Trader Green, which is exactly what she is, getting on the major news network and making herself a big, fancy, pathetic star, then you're wrong, and you could be dead wrong. War is the means for peace. You have no peace without war. Now, that's not popular to be said. We want to talk about all fluffy things and how beautiful the world is. And we're not in heaven yet. It's never going to be that way on this planet. You have to fight, and blood has to be shed to keep peace. Thankfully enough, it's not your blood. It's somebody else's. You should be willing. If you were called, and I would, I'm registered for the draft. I would go, although they're not likely to draft a 61-year-old man. I registered for the draft when I was 18 years old. Considered joining the military. I wanted to, but I was an only son of a widow. My father was killed, and I'm not walking in front of you. And so they want me to walk in front of. So I'm not going. So we'll go over here. Yeah, I'm not walking in front of cars. I don't do that. So the main thing's for me to keep safe on the road right now. So if you think that we'll be safe through going around preaching peace, you're wrong. That day is coming, but not anytime soon on this planet. We're not in heaven yet. We have to fight and thank the good Lord in heaven. It's other people right now that have died. I was going to join the military, but I'm the only son of a widow. And if I had been killed in war, I wouldn't have any descendants. So my mother objected vehemently, to say the least, because I was going to join the 82nd Airborne, but because of my mother's objection, I didn't. And I appreciate our American soldiers shedding their blood for our freedom, and many of them have been killed in wars and protecting America that you don't have to pay for. And many of them have been killed by Iranians, by insidious roadside bombs directly traced to them. So an attack on the Iranian regime that done that is payback for their wickedness. You kill American soldiers insidiously, you're dead too. You're going to be dead. I don't care how much atop of the regime you send soldiers out to kill Americans, we're going to come looking for you. Even years later, it's a great thing that that's being done. I'm happy about that. And you should be too, as a patriotic American. I hope that people appreciate the sacrifices of American soldiers and don't just let them rot in their graves, that we need to pay back for their deaths, how they were killed. The people that killed them need to be killed. They were killed insidiously, unaware that they were stepping on roadside bombs, blown into pieces, unrecognizable for the most part, some of them. And not to go after the rogue regime that done that to our American soldiers, that forfeited their lives for your freedom, because you don't want to pay a few cents extra for gas, is pretty unpatriotic, and to me very disgusting. And you should be ashamed of yourselves, and I'm ashamed of you. And people that believe that survey, you know, it's disgusting, and you're not very intelligent. It's not a realistic survey. Millions and millions of Americans, unpersuaded by false propaganda that's out there in any war. Put down your weapons, don't fight. They'll send that message even when we're winning, which is stupid. A real survey would sample the entire population, not just the loudmouths that want to spread false propaganda. So it's not even a reliable survey. So I'm not going against the mass populace of people who are very patriotic in this country, and I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I'm speaking your message to the rogue, unpatriotic people that want something for nothing. And you're not going to get it in this country. We're going to go to war against people who have killed our American soldiers. All over the state of Tennessee, you find dead American soldiers with Iranian people at the top, that rogue regime with their blood on our soldiers' hands. Let's wipe them off the damn planet and celebrate the day we do it. Now, that's not pretty, but that's just the damn truth of the matter. And I appreciate our soldiers over there now. So we're going to tell you, hang on with me, about what's going on in this war. Now, people think these surveys and this false propaganda is going to deter the great force of America. It's not. It's not. There's some bad stuff going on in Iran, not for America. It's great for America. I appreciate it. It's a wonderful thing. War's a wonderful thing. A good thing in its time, that's biblical. It's not a good thing if we didn't go. It's a bad thing. America will be blessed because of it. But there's some things going on over there that you don't hear about in the news media, because the information put out by America the leadership in America is not going to be accurate information because they don't want you to know. Because they're not going to give the other side the benefit of knowing what we're doing before we do it. But you can tell by the actions that America's taken. We are winning this war, and it is just about over. If you're concerned for a long, enduring war, you have no reason to be concerned. It's not going to take that long. It's not going to be that long. It's not going to be an endless war like some of the other wars. Now, people are dogging this administration, saying that he promised he wouldn't be in the endless war. It's going to draw us back. Well, this isn't going to be an endless war. And he didn't lie. He said that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. He's taking measures to do that. He's telling absolutely what he would do. I believe he's led by God. And we're winning this war. It's going to be over in a matter of days. And they're not telling you that. Specifically, they're not giving a date. But it may be over today. It's going well for us. It's going really well. They're trying to tell you that from the highest office of the military. They're telling you the truth. It's going really well, better than expected. We're winning. Why in the hell should you drop your weapons when you got the other side on the run begging for mercy, knowing that if you give them mercy, they'll just recoup and fight you again, just annihilate them? And that's exactly what's happening in Iran. We are winning. I want to proclaim to America, based on information, and I've listened to hours of news media coverage of this war, hours of biblical commentators, and hours of press against it, and surveys, and I have concluded from listening to all this that we are about to clobber them bad, where they will no more be a threat to American soldiers, to the sovereignty of America, and a few more cents on your gas bill is going to not matter a year from now. You won't even notice it. Gas prices will be a hell of a lot lower. That is my prediction, because in spite of 1,000 people, and I'm going to educate you. If you're on that 1,000 list, don't get mad at me. Just listen to me. If you're on the 200 list, you're smart, but according to them few, and there's millions of Americans that agree with you, don't let them intimidate you. Those surveys are not correct. They're not right. They're propaganda put out from the bunkers of squealing Iranian dictator pigs in Iran, begging for mercy, trying to get you to stop bombing them because they're going to get killed and paid back and go straight to hell for the murder and insidious deaths by proxies of American soldiers, and they're paying for it today. It's a good day to be in America. It's a day a message is sent. You kill American soldiers, and your day is coming. Your day is coming, and it's today. And so we're going to give you some information about what is actually going on in the war as safely as we can from an American's perspective. That gives you an indication. Don't be afraid. Those 1,000 people are wrong. They're bad wrong, and it's going to come to fruition here in a few days, and they're going to have to back out of what they said. Well, maybe we were for the war. Or they're going to continue to say we shouldn't have never been over there, while reaping the benefits of the at least 7 dead soldiers that already come back, which is disgusting. There's a lot of disgusting people on this planet, and I tend to ignore them. And because they're disgusting to themselves. I mean, if they were in a room by themselves, they still wouldn't get along. So why pay attention to them? And I'm just telling you, the millions of Americans that didn't bother to fill out a survey that support the war, that ain't wanting to send out any message, that are just patriotic, God-fearing Americans, that aren't anti-Semitic, that are very patriotic, that fly a flag in front of their houses every day in America. I'm speaking to you. You are the highlight and delight of the American soldiers that died, and they're the reason they died, so that you can have freedom and peace and prosperity. And for us to show them and their families some love, some military families that have lost loved ones, is a great thing. And I'm going to show you when we get to the bridge the reasons we're over there, which is well documented, and what is going on actually today according to what is being done, not what's being said. What's being said is propaganda, false to mislead the enemy, by what's actually being done and what I hope takes place that may, I believe that it possibly will, without boots on the ground. But if it takes that, that's exactly what's going to happen, but it's not going to be an endless war, I don't believe. And that's from listening to hours and hours of words that come out of the president's mouth. There's some fans. Words that come right out of the president's mouth. Words that come right out of military officials' mouth, being very careful that they don't give secrets away. And the propaganda that's going on in Iran, which is squealing like pigs in fear for their lives. False religion can go to hell when somebody's got a bomb pointed at your damn head. Then you start realizing you're going to face God, and your false beliefs give way to survival. You want to live, and that's what they're cowards. They're a bunch of dirty cowards that have killed thousands and thousands of Americans, and they're sending out the message that they're not negotiating. They're negotiating. That's what they say. They have denied negotiating. They're negotiating. They're afraid of their own shadows right now. They're getting ready to be wiped off the planet, and I hope that happens. I hope there's no negotiation that comes into fruition. I hope they get killed for the blood that they've shed American soldiers, and I predict that they will. So we're going to lay out the evidence at the bridge. I've got a lot of notes that I've taken about the war, why. And the propaganda going around is the fact that we had no reason to be over there. We got 50 years, almost 50 years of documented history of a rogue Iranian regime that's trying to get nuclear weapons, that's killed thousands and thousands of American soldiers, that's lied about everything, that seeks to kill everybody that doesn't believe their religion, that hates Jews, that has proxies all over the world, that insidiously kill people by terroristic acts. Somebody goes in a building with a bomb, kills herself, they convince them to kill themselves and kill innocent people that had no knowledge. What an insidious way to die. The safest way to deal with that, and the most humane way to deal with that, is a military action that sends American soldiers, and the last thing they see is an American flag that blows them to hell. You keep your hands off America. You leave this nation and our allies alone. And that's the message being sent today. And there's no other way for peace. That's the only way. If you believe peace through peace, then you think you're in heaven now, and that's just crazy as hell. And it is a wonderful thing that we're in war. Let's get across this road here. So yeah, almost 200 people. I have struck a nerve. So we're going to talk about why we're at war with Iran, in spite of a rogue survey by WBIR, and I like that news station, but they're owned by corporate media, and those people are doing their jobs. There's some very good Christian people on that media that don't agree with a lot of stuff, and they're putting out a survey that they've been asked to do that is a fill in the box open to anybody that's not representative of the population. When you do a survey that's accurate, you can find out what's going on in the population by sampling a few people, which is the way a survey is done, but it has to be a sample that is accurate sample, not a sample that is biased. And that WBIR survey is biased because They are asking for people to voluntarily fill out that survey. And 1,000 people, a lot of them, and I'll say this frankly, a lot of them are unpatriotic. They don't care about American soldiers, don't care about them dying. As long as it's not them, they care about a few cents on their gas bill. That's horrific to them. They don't think that you have to go to war to keep peace. They think they're in heaven, or a lot of different rogue reasons. They're crazy as hell. And emphatically unpatriotic. Now, some of them are just deceived, and if you're one of the 1,000, let me educate you. There is no question in my mind, through research and knowledge, that it's a just war. It's a good thing. I'm glad. I support the war. I support the president. I support our soldiers. I am so glad that families that have lost loved ones in the war are getting justice this very day by those squealing pigs in Iran that killed them insidiously. And some of the people that hate the war are anti-Semitic. It's a lot of demonic influence. That's quite frankly the truth. A lot of them hate Jews, and they hate us standing with the nation of Israel that Jesus came through. And I support them and the nation of Israel. And if you're against them, there's a curse on you. And if you're not afraid of that, well, you know, the fool has said there's no God. There is a God. And what he said in the Bible is very true. And you ought to get on your knees and pray for God to forgive you and for Jesus to come into your heart. And if you don't agree with me, go right on. I will be blessed for standing with the nation of Israel. And I encourage everyone, it says specifically in the Bible, to pray for the peace of Israel. And I encourage everyone, if you want to be blessed by God Almighty, to pray for the peace of Israel. Pray for the peace of America and the safety and sovereignty of America, which is the country that I live in, that I am patriotic toward. And also pray for the peace of Israel. That helps America. It does. It absolutely does. And if you're against that, one of the 1,000 people for the wrong reasons, I'd hate to be walking in your footsteps today, because God is not lying. So there's a welcome. So subscribe to the channel. Help us get this message out. This is simple, patriotic American that is glad that America's paying back the death of American soldiers by roadside bombs and killed in other means all across the world from a rogue Iranian regime. And that supports the war. And you should too. And I ask you to do that. And there's more of us than them. You don't have to fill out a survey. Support the war. They're saying in that WBI survey, they're going to send that to legislators in Nashville. I would ask you to, first of all, pray for the peace of Israel. Talk to God. God's the real power. They just think they are. And pray for the peace of Israel so that you'll be blessed. Pray for the safety of our soldiers and Israeli soldiers, and pray for the peace of America. Pray for the safety and security of your family and you, and pray for others, and pray for your enemies, for their souls, that they will correct their ways. And you'll be blessed for praying for the peace of Israel. That's just biblical. That's a fact. A lot of people don't believe that. I hate that for you. You're not going to convince me not to. You're not going to convince me that we shouldn't be allies with Israel. It's not going to happen. Your propaganda doesn't work on some people. And you can go in a room and argue with your damn self, all 1,000 of you, because I don't buy it, not for 1 second. And there's a lot of Jew haters. Jesus was a Jew. That's demonic. So that survey is not representative of the population of millions of Americans that are very patriotic, that love this country, that love the nation of Israel, and agree with them, their sovereignty in being a nation, and appreciate that and are for this war. behind it 100% are proud Americans today. And I'm proud of you all for supporting this war. You don't have to fill out surveys, and I would ask you to call your representative. You don't have to let the world know. Call your representative directly. You don't have to fill out a survey. You don't have to be part of any propaganda. Call your representative. Call Tim Burchett. Call the governor of the state of Tennessee. And call your representative in your area, your local representatives who are powerful people too. And even if they object, tell them that you support this war, that you appreciate our American soldiers fighting and stopping Iran from developing a nuclear weapon, and you appreciate this country standing with the nation of Israel, and you believe that this nation will be blessed as a result of them standing with Israel, that you're behind this war and you support it 150%, and that you're a proud American. Show some patriotism, and that you're born in America, or that you legally, lawfully immigrated, and that you support American soldiers, American war effort, and thank them and ask them to be behind it too. And let's stop this rogue opposition, this false propaganda that's trying to deter America when we're already winning. I believe if we pulled out of there right now, we would still win, although it wouldn't be effective. We need to get the job done so we won't be back over there again. But we're winning so bad that they are even alleging that we're not even negotiating with them, when they know damn well they are, to try to hold on to some dignity before they get blown to hell, because that's exactly what's happening, because they are negotiating. They are negotiating behind the scenes because they're afraid they're going to get dead. Their religious beliefs go to hell when they see a bullet, a red mark over their eyes, which is exactly what's taking place. Give up or die. That's been very clear from our President of the United States of America. So this war, the hatred toward it, the lack of support toward it, is fueled by anti-Semitic views, demonic views. It's very powerful. Demonic views are more powerful than Charles Van Morgan. They are. The reason why I'm still here is I trust in the Lord Jesus Christ to protect me, his angels, and I ask him to do that. Alone, you can't stand up against demonic forces. They're a lot more powerful and wicked than you are, and a lot faster and smarter. They literally tried to tempt Jesus Christ and offer him power, and I'm not getting power that way. That's not the way I'm getting it. I could be very political and say, well, 1,000 people are against the war, and I'm going to do my show today and say that we shouldn't be over there, and it's a horrible thing, and everything's bad, and we need to, and try to get a bunch of votes and try to be governor of the state of Tennessee. And I'll probably get a lot of votes for saying that, but I'm not going to, because that's not the truth. It's absolutely not the truth. And I would be pretty disgusting. I would sicken myself. I'd puke if I did that for votes. What I'm going to tell you is the truth. If it deters votes, then hey, that's all right with me. I'll have my integrity that's in me, and influence other people in the truth, the ones that I can. And I don't believe they're surveying in the first place. I think there's millions of Americans, and I'm speaking to you, and I thank you, millions and millions of Americans all across the United States of America, in the state of Tennessee, who are very patriotic, who know what I'm saying and agree 100% with me. Now, they're not going to comment on here and stick their head up to get it shot off by some psycho war protester like they had in the 60s protesting Vietnam soldiers that came back in a war they didn't choose and are still mistreated to this day. I'm not behind that. I stand behind Vietnam veterans and the suffering that they did. And I talked to one the other day, and that's exactly what he said. Some people just don't get it. They live in a false reality. They think that you walk around every day and that's just the way it is. That's natural the way it is. And they don't get, let's get across this road, that somebody had to pay for your right. The ones you're protesting against right now. That's pathetic. So yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. Wow, overwhelming audience today. Thank you all so much. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get this message out. I want to be known, Charles Van Morgan, as a Christian a Zionist, and a patriotic American. Imagine that. People hate me for that. I'll go right ahead. Jesus loves me, and the people that hate me, he loves you too if you'll accept him. And I'm very patriotic. I love this country. You say, well, you say a lot of bad things about it. I say a lot of truthful things to try to correct it so it stays going in the right direction. Part of it going in the right direction is supporting this war, calling it good like the Bible says it's good. It is a good thing. And millions of Americans all across the United States are in favor of this war. We far outnumber. I'm not intimidated. We far outnumber the 1,000 people here in this area in the survey put out by Channel 10 that said they don't support the war. We far outnumber by far. And I believe, and this is not the reason why I'm doing it because of truth, because the facts as they presented them say you won't get many votes if you stand against the war. I don't care. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's true, not for 10 seconds. I believe the truth matters, that the truth has more weight and value than lies. And I believe that there's more people in this country that want revenge for dead Americans by Iranians and are glad we're bombing them today. I remember when I was in high school, remember that song that was put out after the hostage situation in the 1970s, bomb, 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 Iran. Why didn't we do it then? We might have, should have took care of business then. But you don't want to jump at the first. You want to be patient. So this is the right time and right place. This has been a long time coming. The news media like, well, we over there. We have no reason to be over there. And convinced over 1,000 people in this local area by false propaganda. I bet they got them Iranians in their little bunkers hitting that survey. Yeah, stop the war, we're against it. Yeah, they're against it. They're getting ready to get killed. We have no reason to stop it. We pulled the trigger and it's effective. So look at the beautiful view, and I appreciate y'all. If you will, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel so that you'll have the opportunity to view the video every day, because YouTube is lowering my views, the output, because I'm running for public office and they tend to not want to help you get elected. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to have the opportunity to see what show I'm talking about and decide for yourself. But if you don't subscribe, then it probably won't be presented to you on your screen. So I would ask you to subscribe to the channel. We're building up every day, getting a truthful message out from a Christian, God-fearing Christian, from a Zionist that believes that the nation of Israel has the right to be a nation and their sovereignty, that they are the descendants of the family of Jesus Christ, they're his relatives, and that they are persecuted people, and that I believe that we will be blessed by standing with them. And I also believe in America, and I'm patriotic American. What's wrong with that? And proud of it. And people say, you have the audacity to be a patriotic American? Hell yes, I am. Yeah, very much so. And I'll say that all day. I'm very patriotic. Love this country. And you should too. You have choices. They don't keep you in this country. If you don't like it, get the hell out. And I'm very patriotic, and a lot of Americans are. Most Americans are. Most Americans are very patriotic. Love this country. Love our way of life. Want to keep it that way. They don't like war, but they know it's necessary. And most Americans aren't foolish, so I don't care what their surveys are saying. I'm not going to pander to, over 1,000 people compared to 200 that are against this war. There's many more Americans that are for this war. They're just not going to bother to fill out a survey. They don't have to get their message out. They're not concerned about it. The bullets are flying. They're not going to stop them. They're proud of it. They're happy about it. And that's the people that I'm talking to. And there's many more of y'all. Don't let the propaganda deceive you. The Iranians in their bunkers, scared out of their wits, praying to their false god, are filling out the survey hoping you buy it. And over 1,000 people are, there we go, over 1,000 people are, got a lot of fans, for pathetic reasons. And some of them aren't pathetic, they're just deceived. And I'm here to undeceive you, to tell you the truth, and ask you to support the war in every way. Don't worry about the gas prices for a few days. It'll be fine. We're not going to be over there long. It's not going to be a forever war. Don't believe the propaganda. Take the victory. Some of you wouldn't take a trophy if you deserved it and they handed it right to you. And we're about to win this war and be in a better position financially and be blessed by God. It's a good day to be in America. Now, I'm unbridled news. I bring bad news all the time. There's a lot of bad. A hell of a lot of bad. And I hate it and try to correct it. That's why I tell you the bad. But that's not bad that we're at war. It's a great, wonderful thing, and I am so happy about it. And you say you're happy about people getting killed? Yes, I'm happy about the rogue Iranian dictators that killed American soldiers. I'm glad that they're going to meet their maker. I would ask, but pray for their souls. I hope that they become a Christian, accept the Lord Jesus Christ, ask Him to forgive them before they go meet their maker. But that's their choice. The choice they made is the one I'm dealing with, which is a choice to insidiously kill American soldiers. And that decision is what I'm concerned with, and that's why I support the war for American soldiers. So, be patriotic today. Thank the good Lord in heaven that this country is not so stalled by political differences that we can act, because it might get to the position where our president can't send troops to protect this country because of political differences. And that's part of that argument that's going on right now, that the president doesn't have the authority to do that. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And that's what other countries are hoping, that America will be so distracted that we won't act when we need to act. And we are acting today. Our government, as far as our military, is well, highly functioning, the greatest military in the world. And that's not propaganda. We have the greatest military in the world. The bad thing is if we're so distracted by politics and not able to act, the greatest military in the world sits idle while we get annihilated, and that's not going on today. You ought to be thankful for that. I am. And our American soldiers are happy to be fighting. They train, and they usually don't have to go to war, which is a good thing, but they're elated that they're getting ready to put into practice what they've trained, getting ready to fight for this great country. Our military service members are patriotic. They love this country. That's the reason why they joined the military. One of the main reasons is they're patriotic and they're willing to fight and die for this country. And they're doing that right now, and you ought to appreciate them, support them in their efforts. Support the war and support the soldier. Those two things go hand in hand. So thank y'all for joining me. And welcome, welcome. Look at the beautiful view as I readjust my belt here. I've been told it looks horrible when my shirt isn't tucked in. So we'll tuck my shirt in out of camera view. And thank y'all for joining me. We're going to show you the evidence that we've got here for the war, black and white, against the crooked propaganda by the news and fake surveys and people that are speaking up falsely. So wow, a lot of people in here, and we appreciate it. And Iran's history of hostility toward America. You don't hear that on the lamestream media, do you? So, why are we at war with Iran? Let's spell it out. Since 1979, the Islamic Revolution, Shah, was overthrown Ayatollah, Ayatollah, Khomeini takes power in 1979. America was declared by him in 1979 the great Satan. And that's when all this began, in 1979, Islamic Revolution. And they began persecuting their own people. In 1979 and 1981, the Iran hostage crisis. 52 American diplomats held for 444 days. Held hostage. And Iran never faced serious military consequences. They learned America could be humiliated. And that's what they did in 1981. Remember the song, bomb, 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 bomb Iran? We never did. We never did. So why are we in Iran? The news media says very clearly, they say very clearly that no one has made it clear why we are at war with Iran while we're bombing them right now. They're saying that clearly. That's propaganda. That's a false message because it has been said very clearly why we are at war. So they're lying. The major news networks are lying. They're putting out a survey. 1,000 people are against this. Well, let me say very clearly, 1,000 people are wrong. There's many more people that are for this. So I'm saying very clearly why we are at war with Iran. They say nobody said it. I'm saying it. I'll say it very clearly. Beirut barracks bombing, Hezbollah, Iran's proxy, kills 241 American Marines in Lebanon. One of the deadliest single-day losses for the U.S. military since Vietnam. Iran did that with their proxy, Hezbollah. That's why we're at war. 241 American Marines that don't get a family, don't get to get married, have children, but you do. Don't get to get married, have children, have a family, have a future on this planet, because they fought for the 1,000 people that disagree with this war. They fought for their freedom to say they disagree with this war, which is a wonderful thing. Say you disagree with it. I don't have respect for you. Absolutely not. I could care less if you vote for me. I think you're outnumbered. I think you're uneducated. I'm trying to educate you. Come to my way of thinking because it's the truth. I'll spell it out. I'm not just saying, yay, we're at war. I'm telling you why. They say there's no reason nobody explain. I'm explaining it to you. It's real simple. It's not complicated. 241 American Marines dead. Young American men dead because of Iran. That's enough. We should have bombed the hell out of them then. Why didn't we? Well, we are now. It's a long time coming. 241 Americans. And let me give you a moment of silence just for that. 241, because I'm patriotic. I care about these soldiers that died. And I think that they should be, their death should be remembered. And the people that did it, the Iranian regime and their proxy should pay a penalty for that. And a day when its penalty is a good day. And let's have a moment of silence for those 241 American Marines that are dead. And I pray for their families. In Jesus' name, amen. So in 1988, U.S. start tanker war. Iran attacks commercial shipping in the Persian Gulf. U.S. Navy forced into direct confrontation with Iran, attacked shipping in the Persian Gulf. 1996, Kabul Towers. Iran-backed bombing kills 19 American airmen in Saudi Arabia. So that's 241 plus 19, 260 dead American soldiers that fought for freedom so that you can live free in America. That is free for you. I thank them. Not free for them, cost them everything they had so that you could have freedom. Freedom's not free, just like that Vietnam soldier said. People don't get it. I get it. I'm asking you to get it. That their lives not just be for your freedom, that we appreciate what they did and recompense people, pay them back for what they did to these soldiers, killing them wrongfully, unjustly. So 2011, assassination plot. Telling you why we're at war with Iran. The news media says no one has explained why we're at war with Iran. Which reason do you want to go with? 260 dead American soldiers? I'd say that's good enough in itself, but that's what they say. Maybe they don't appreciate the free news press that they have. Assassination plot on U.S. soil, 2011. Iraq quads force pilots to assassinate the Saudi ambassador in Washington, D.C. A foreign government planning a murder operation inside America. Iraq quad force. So they're trying to assassinate people in the United States of America. Wow, that's pretty aggressive, dangerous for America. We're making sure they don't do that anymore. 2019, Strait of Hormuz. Talking about the reasons why we're at war with Iran. Thank y'all for coming. Overwhelming viewership today. Subscribe to the channel, like and share. Let's get this truthful message out. The news media and the forces that are anti-Semitic and anti-patriotic are saying that we shouldn't be at war. We have no reason. Let's go over the reasons and talk about the real stuff that's really going on and why I'm absolutely for this war. I support it and ask you to too. 2011, assassination plot on U.S. soil by people over there in a foreign country in the Middle East, and they can't affect us. We don't need to be in foreign wars. They're bringing it to us in this country, and they will tomorrow if we don't do something about it. 2019 Strait of Hormuz provocations. Iran seized oil tankers, shoots down a U.S. drone, attacks Saudi oil facilities that affect 20% of the world's oil supply flows through that strait. So they're affecting the world economy. They're saying we're going to take care of the world. We're going to affect the world's economy. They don't care about peace and prosperity and the good of mankind. They're out for terrorism and trouble and problems and kill all non-believers and affecting the economy. This few days of higher gas prices, they've affected the world's economy for decades. And to have to sacrifice a few days for higher oil prices to make sure that they never do that again is well worth it. Well worth it economically. We're doing the right thing economically. I mean, if you don't care about the soldiers, and I do, that's the main reason, kill these people that have killed American soldiers. Blow them off the planet to hell. It's a good day when that happens. And I applaud that. Then care about your own pocketbook. They're affecting the world's economy by the Straits of Hormuz. And they're doing that now, using that as a ploy to try to stop us by raising oil prices, affecting the world's economy, controlling their little bit of 20% of the oil controls the world. Whoever controls the oil controls the world. And they're trying to, through violence, control what oil tankers get out to the world through their little strait over there, and they need to be stopped from doing that. And that's what's going on right now. That's, as Barney Fife would say, we're about to nip that in the butt. Nip it. Because what's going on now, the president says there's peace talks going on, and there is, but there's also some stuff going on behind the scenes that if you look at the facts, you'll see what's about to go down. Some really bad stuff for the Iranian regime is about to go down to annihilate their influence in the world economy. Intolerable. Now, Mr. Trump's a financial man, a businessman, and he's about to stop their felonious, their false control over the world economy for good right now with what he's doing. Now, I'm not giving away secrets. I'm just saying Iran better disarm and go along with America's program, either willfully or by force that's getting ready to be overwhelming. Now, there's peace talks going on. Everybody thinks it's going to be a big peace agreement. People are going to shake hands and we're going to walk out of there. But like Clint Eastwood said when he went back in that store, those people robbing the place, Iran's getting ready to rob the place and wanting to walk out of there. And Mr. Trump's telling them, and Charles Van Morgan's telling them, we can't just let you walk out of here like that. And we're not going to let them, and I hope that we don't. And I believe and have confidence in our administration that we won't. So And I'm going to tell you some things going on. Hang on with me. That's not going to give away military secrets, but America's ready. And we're not running, and we're not listening to 1,000 people that are against it. So 2003, 2011, Iraq war, American soldiers killed by Iranian weapons. Iran supplied EFPs, explosive form penetrators, armor-piercing roadside bombs, responsible for killing hundreds of American troops in Iraq. This is an act of war by any definition. So they've been doing all this stuff for years. And the news media says no one has been clear about why we're over there, that we don't have no reason to be over there. They weren't an imminent threat. Well, they've been an imminent threat for years, for half a century. And it's about time. And they are putting out the propaganda, completely false. We have no reason to be over there. We got many reasons to be over there. 1998, 2000, bombing the proxy network, building the proxy network, 1998, 2000. Iran funds, now these people are over there bombing right now. We don't have a reason to do that. It's bullshit. Iran funds arms and trains Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, that came across the border and killed men, women, and children. And we're over there bombing the people that train those people to do that, but we don't have no reason to do that because they do it in America. Islamic Jihad, West Bank, Houthi rebels, Yemen, and Shia militias, Iraq. So Iran built this proxy network so they don't have to take responsibility, but they're the ones doing it. They're the ones doing it. 2020, Somali General Soleimani, architect of Iran's proxy terror network, killed by a U.S. drone strike. Iran had American blood on his man going back decades, so that was a good day. That was a good day. Killed one rogue Iranian proxy network. But now we're getting a bunch of them, wiping those cockroaches off the planet. 2023, 2024, October 7th, aftermath. Iran-backed Hamas launched the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. Iran-backed Houthis began attacking U.S. naval ships and commercial vehicles in the Red Sea. October 7th, they attacked civilians. An Iran-backed proxy did that. No reason to attack them. And they attacked U.S. Navy ships, commercial vessels in the Red Sea. No reason to be over there, though. No reason. It's not clear to me. I mean, even a fool could see when. It's not. Wasn't a matter of do we have a reason. It's when should we do this, and be patriotic Americans. Appreciate that it's being done, and you're not even have to do it. And people won't even say that they support American soldiers. Millions of them are. Millions, and I thank you all. Millions of y'all are. You know what's going on. And I'm just telling you, preaching to the choir, I believe. Amen. Thank the good Lord in heaven. We're taking action to pay back. And payback is hell, isn't it? And proud of it. Direct attacks on Israel, 2024, 2025. Why are we bombing Iran? We have no reason to be over there. We haven't made it clear. I'm making it very clear. Iran launches 300 plus drones and missiles directly at Israel. First direct state attack in the conflict history. 300 drones at the nation of Israel, trying to blow them off the planet, commit genocide. And then people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and people like Tucker Carlson, demonically influenced, and Megyn Kelly, and a lot of the commentators are hating on Jews that are being bombed, saying they're committing genocide. No, they're not. They're under attack. They're defending themselves. I don't care what the propaganda says. Bless the nation of Israel. I don't agree with every decision the nation of Israel makes. That's not my judgment to make. The judgment that I am to make is what God commands, that we bless the nation of Israel. And that's what I do. And hope and pray for their decisions. The ultimate goal of this war, defeating the snake. Iran is the head. Cut off the funding, weapons, and command structure, and every proxy weakens simultaneously. So we're going right into the head of the snake that has terroristic proxies all over the world, even in America, that have killed American soldiers by the thousands. And thank you that we're doing that. No reason that we should be over there. Well, let's look at them. History. You want to deny history? And these are the reasons. This is the goal. They say we don't have no ultimate end. Yeah, we do. We have a bunch of them. It's very clear. They're trying to say it's not clear. Yeah, it is. It's very clear. The ultimate goal is to protect the straits. 20% of the global oil flows through Hamas. Letting Iran control it means Iran controls the world economy. So we're not going to can we let Iran, the nation that believes that you should kill all Americans, that wants to kill Americans, kill the nation of Israel, to let them control 20% of the world's economy? No, and there's things going over there right now to stop that. Behind the scenes, war's propaganda. You're not being told the truth, and you don't need to be. But I'll just tell you, suffices to say, as one of my law professors used to say, that's being taken care of very effectively in the next few days. That 20% of their control over the world's oil is going to come to a violent end for them. Militarily, it's going to stop. Rest assured, it's a coming. Greatest military in the world, greatest fighting men in the history of the world are getting ready to stop that. And thank you very much, soldiers. I appreciate you. And if you see American soldiers, thank them for their service to this great country and for their fight in the war in Iran. Call your congressman, call your local representative, and tell them that you support the war and the soldiers and that you appreciate it. And in the face of 1,000 people trying to educate you, I hope I've converted some over. If I have, leave a message. Subscribe to the channel. If I haven't, hey, you got a right to say what you want. Those soldiers paid for that. And I'm for making sure that Iran gets paid back for their deaths. That's what I'm for. I'm very patriotic. You kill American soldiers, I think you ought to be dead. And I'm glad when it happens. And that's what's happening. So you can say what you want to in America thanks to those soldiers. You can be against the war thanks to those soldiers. But I'm not. I'm for the war. 45 years of unpaid debt. From the hostage crisis to dead Marines to IED killings, American soldiers, Iran has never been held fully accountable. Never. You keep on doing what you're going to do until somebody makes you pay for it. Somebody makes you pay for it, and then you start thinking about what you're doing. And today, they're in a bunker, scared to death, saying they're not negotiating. They're negotiating like hell. They're trying to stop themselves from getting killed. Their religion could go to hell when they think about their life getting ready to end. They're wondering if their religion's real. No, it's not. It's false. You're going straight to hell. They're begging for their pathetic, sorry lives. And we're putting it to them justifiably. Thank the good Lord in heaven. War's good in its time, and it's a time of war. Both in Iran and in America, in the state of Tennessee and states all across this nation, a fight for the Constitution and the sovereignty of your state against the rogue government. Not a war of bullets, a war of votes and messaging, which I'm getting out the truthful message. So remember, we got an election coming up. It's a time of war in a foreign country for these reasons, and in America for the reasons I spell out every day, in the state of Tennessee, because we got a rogue government, not through violence, through attrition and voting. These are the goals of the war. They say we shouldn't be over there, and there's no end goals. The other is stop the nuclear clock. A nuclear-armed Iran changes everything. This window to act conventionally closes the moment they cross the threshold. So they've been enriching uranium to get a nuclear weapon while negotiating with America, saying that they're not. All the time covering it up in deep bunkers in the earth, enriching uranium to kill Americans, acting like they're not. And when they cross that threshold, it's too damn late. As someone very smart said to me the other day, and she knows who she is, Are we gonna wait until a nuclear weapon is in the sky over our heads before we stop Iran? How soon does the threat have to be here? How soon it's over your head in the air, and this area right here, we're gonna be blown up because of Oak Ridge, because of the things at Oak Ridge. This area will go first. So do we have to wait till we see the nuclear weapon in the sky and then the threat is real, we act? Or should we act right now, which we are, before they're able to put the nuclear weapon over our heads? Because they're making one to put over our heads. That's exactly what's going on. They've said that. They've been saying that for decades. So there was a real threat of intimate real threat. Now that's what the news media said. There wasn't any intimate real threat. That's a lie. That's a dirty lie. That's a pathetic lie. That's a dangerous lie. There was a real threat of Iran continuing enriching uranium in order to make a nuclear weapon. That's what they were doing, to aim at America and blow us off the planet. And it was real. That threat was real. It was imminent. If they crossed the threshold and made the nuclear weapon, sent it in the sky, it is too damn late. How intimate do you want to get till it's too damn late? The threat was very real and very intimate. Stop the nuclear clock. A nuclear armed Iran changes everything. So if we wait till they're armed nuclear, that changes the whole game. Right now is the time. It was a real threat. Israel's survival. So we're talking about what the end goal is in this while we're bombing them. We had no reason to be over there. Just mentioned a bunch. Any one by itself was enough. This is the end goal. Why? The why in this. What do we hope to accomplish? We've already accomplished a lot. They're paying like hell right now. They're negotiating. They're really negotiating really right now. They got the hammer down on them. They're pleading for their damn lives. And our president is saying we don't have no reason to negotiate if we don't want to. Which he's got every right. It's too late now. You done crossed over the threshold of let's talking peacefully, line, where we're putting a hurt on them, which is absolutely necessary, what we need to do, and that's exactly what's going on. I support this. That's how you get people's cooperation. You know, some people have to have an attitude adjustment before they cooperate with you. You have to not literally, but you have to rattle them pretty good, knock them in the head. Now, not literally, but you have to get their attention. You have to put the hurt on them. Then they start wanting to talk about things a little bit. Otherwise, they get crazy and dance around all over the place. You have to lock them down and show them the business. That's what's going on. That's called war. It's a great thing. And that's what we're doing in Tennessee. Going to lock them down, show them the business. Not violently. At the polls, we're not going to take this trash in Tennessee anymore by a rogue government that doesn't act on behalf of the people in the state of Tennessee. That's what I'm doing. I'm just explaining why I'm for this war in the Middle East, what's going to be accomplished. And in other videos, we'll explain why we're at war with the elite in the state of Tennessee, not a war of bullets. Similarly, a war of voting, though, a war of attrition and voting and messaging. And this is a war of attrition, voting, and messaging to keep America safe from a rogue regime. Israel's survival. Iran has openly called for Israel's destruction. That is not rhetoric. It's policy backed by weapons and proxies. So we are defending an ally. We need Israel to be a nation. They are for America. And Netanyahu has praised America and appreciates the cooperation with America. So we're fighting for the survival of the nation of Israel. There's a lot of anti-Semitism going on. You see the picture icon. Those are little children that survived a concentration camp. Jew haters. So we're fighting the anti-Semitic hatred of the Jewish people, and we'll be blessed by God. Israel's survival and reaping a blessing by God. Regional stability. Every nation in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan, Egypt, fears Iran more than Israel does. Other nations appreciate what we're doing over there. So, the biblical lens. Iran, ancient Persia, Elam, appears in the end times prophecy. Ezekiel 38 names Persia among the nations that come against Israel. It's biblical prophecy. They're going to come against Israel. They hate Israel. They hate the Jewish people. And we're stopping them for now from that. In the end times, they're going to attack Israel. Every bomb drop on Iran missile launchers is a 45-year American blood demanding an answer. That's the bottom line. This isn't a new war. It's the final chapter of one that started in 1979. So the things that are going on right now over there, those are the reasons, that's the benefit. The things that are going on right now, there's a diplomatic pause, apparently, which isn't really a pause. Apparently, it's a strategic move. In the war, President Trump has said that he's negotiating with Iranian leaders to bring about an end to the war. The 5-day diplomatic pause isn't diplomacy. It's repositioning time, and assets haven't stopped moving. They're bringing American soldiers on ships over there close to the straits, and boots on the ground is coming. And people are against that. I'm not. Possibly boots on the ground, and I think they are coming in the very near future. It's not what they say. Now what they're saying, the message that they're saying, is that we're in a pause negotiating. We're not going to bomb their electric structures, their infrastructure that provides power, and we're pausing that but because of negotiations. But what's really going on is American carriers are expediting units, or floats. Special operations are already forward. The ground infrastructure for ground operations, the infrastructure for ground operations is being set up right now. So I predict, without a complete surrender or a firm agreement by the Iranian regime, that we will have boots on the ground, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. And I think the Iranians know that. That's why they're negotiating, because they're fixing to be dead and the regime completely annihilated. So they better do some talking and some walking and some real repenting, or their days are gone, because the pause is not a pause. Boots are over there getting ready to put foot on the ground. They might be at this very minute. There's getting ready to be a ground war over there that's going to annihilate them dirtbags. And that's what's going on right now. Is a lot of military foot soldiers are set up, ready to deploy. And I predict they probably will soon in the next few days. So that is what's going on right now. And the military strategist truth, every great commander from Sun Tzu to Patton to Schwarzkopf said the same thing: make the cost of resistance greater than the cost of surrender. And that's what they're doing right now, showing them that we're going to put boots on the ground and take over your grid and take over your oil and make it too costly to continue and annihilate you. America's message to Tehran: the pause is your window, the troops are your deadline. Choose. The surrender calculus: 70% of the missile launches are gone in Iran. Power grids threatened. Navy blockading. Ground troops forming. At what point does Tehran choose survival over ideology? I think they're choosing it right now. They're in negotiations. No, what surrender looks like: no nuclear program, no proxy funding, Strait of Hormuz open, regional terror network dismantled. That's the deal, or that's the invasion. When America commits overwhelming force, clear objectives defined exist. The repositioning suggests the doctrine is being deployed right now. No bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. That's Patton's rule. He won it by making the other bastard die for his. Iran's leadership is watching troops movement and doing the math. Two complete outcomes: complete Iranian surrender and dismantlement of the war machine, or boots on the ground. Finish what the bomb started. And that's getting ready to happen. That's getting ready to happen, I predict. And it won't be long. It won't be a long, drawn-out, forever, ever-ending war. Get behind it, expect it. Unless there's a complete surrender. I hope there's not. And it'll be a surprise. I think it's probably already maybe going on right now. Supreme excellence is breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Ground troops are the threat. The force surrenders without needing to land. Let's hope they don't need to. Let's hope they don't need to. Let's bring this back to Tennessee. So there's going to be ground fighting. In what area? Not sure, but the troops are over there on ships. The peace talks and negotiations are a diversion. They're getting ready to annihilation of those people, the dictators that have killed American soldiers like you have never seen in the history of man, absent nuclear weapons. It's what's getting ready to go down. This ain't going to be long. And it's a good thing. Let's bring it back to Tennessee. Tennessee always answers. When Polk called for 3,000 Tennesseans, sent 30,000. That volunteer spirit in our bones. We are people already forwardly deployed right now. Fort Campbell is Tennessee. The 101st Airborne, the Screaming Eagles, are a Tennessee asset. When boots hit the ground near Iran, Tennessee families feel it first, and they're going to. And we thank you for your service. Iranians' weapons killed Tennessee soldiers. These EFPs in Iraq and Afghanistan, Iranian-made, Iranian-supplied, came to Tennessee's in flag-draped coffins. This is an abstract foreign policy. This is personal. I've seen it with my own eyes. Just a mile down here on Chapman Highway at Barry's Funeral Home, Patrick Fitzgibbon. Got some fans. This isn't a police action in an unnecessary foreign war. This is recompense for our young men and women that have died for your freedom and my freedoms. It means something. Freedom's not free. Let's hold these people accountable for what they've done. So, volunteer state demands accountability. Tennessee volunteers have bled for this fight for 20 years. The state that always shows up deserves a governor who stands up and demands Iran finally pay the price for these atrocities. Support the war. Support the soldiers. It'll be over soon. And it'll be another time. Support the fight, the war in America, in the state of Tennessee, against our rogue regime by voting. If I'm elected governor, I'll make Tennessee position clear. We will stand with our military families. We stand with Israel, and we stand against every nation that has American blood on its hands. Tennessee volunteers didn't die so Iran could keep funding terror with impunity. And every Tennessean with a loved one who served in Iraq or Afghanistan has a personal stake in this war. You're not talking foreign policy. You're taking a stand for their kids, their brothers, and their fathers. And anti-Semitism is funding this war. When people oppose action against Iran, trace it back far enough, you almost find one of three things: anti-Semitism, replacement theology, and Iranian propaganda successfully planted. So that's what's fueling this war, anti-Semitism, replacement theology that Israel is no longer the chosen people of God, and they are, or Iranian propaganda. Gold Star mothers in Shelby County, Knox County, Davidson County, and every county in the state of Tennessee that has lost a loved one in military action due to a proxy by Iran. They deserve someone in leadership in America, in governor in Tennessee, who calls Iran what it is, a state sponsor of terrorism that killed their children. And it's a good day we're fighting back today. Operation Epic Fury, Tennessee. The name of this campaign isn't accidental. The elite, the mass populace against the elite, Tennessee Fury, is righteous, built on 45 years of Iranians aggressive and the blood of volunteer state warriors. So this is a good day in America. I support this war. I hope I've convinced you all that this is a just and holy war, and it's getting ready to be over. Thank y'all for joining me. And I hope that you will support the war. In Iran. And subscribe to this channel, like and share if you can, fund it. We're fighting unbridled news with the truth, spreading the truth, even if it appears unpopular. And I believe it is popular. Millions of Americans patriotic, millions of Tennesseans patriotic, and support the war. I ask you to call your congressman, call your representative, let them know you're for this war, you support them. If they don't, you'll vote them out of office. Support this channel, help us get the message out, this patriotic channel, and subscribe, and help us get this message out. A lot of war is messaging. In the state of Tennessee, it's not bullets, it's messaging and voting. Help us get this message out. We're fighting this in Tennessee against the government, not with bullets, with messaging, which is this channel, with truthful information to the populace. That it might appear unpopular, I don't believe it. I think this war is popular. And with, on the governor's ballot, trying to get in government office to lead this state in the right direction, promising meetings with Tennesseans in different cities at least once a month to listen to what you say. The heart of Tennesseans to take that to Nashville and run those rogue elite people out of government. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's not a hard thing to sell. And we're going to give the poor the opportunity to get richer. And a lot of the rich that have fed off the poor are going to jail. A lot of them in power. The rich get richer, the rich get more powerful, and the poor get less powerful. The rich get out of jail and the poor go to jail. And we're going to stop that. And we're also involved in civil litigation against these people in federal court, hoping to get justice in a courtroom so I can get my law license. So we're fighting them on every front. This isn't just a one front war. And so we're active in this campaign, Voters of Truth Enraged, to fight for you and Americans and putting out truth. And we try to do that every day. We'll try to be back on here tomorrow morning, or if we have news that shows up where we can get to it safely without interfering, then we will do that. Thank y'all for joining. We have overwhelming support today. Thank you for your comments, and may God bless you. And as I always say, and we'll show you the beautiful view, that God loves you and I do too.